fix up the chat real quick. Let's make it legible and readable for when people end up coming in, because that's important. It's gotta be readable. Gotta set that message delay, and that should be fine. Yeah, that should be good. 10 seconds should be more than long enough. Hello. Welcome. Yo. Oh, what's up, Divinity? I saw some of your comments on my my VOD from yesterday. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm trying to make these better content. I'm trying to, like, these are chat interactive streams, but they're also content, and so the model that I'm going for is something that's both watchable in the moment and something that people might want to go back to later and check up on. So I'm glad that people are actually starting to do that. That's really cool. And you mentioned that it's pretty rare for you to find another anarchist, or you said something like it's pretty cool or something like that. And yeah, I mean, it's always cool when we find one another, right? Anarchists represent a very strange place on the American left, right? People with enough hope. We're a weird little contradiction, right? Because we're people with enough hope to think that human beings could actually learn to live cheek by jowl in a way that's completely peaceful and harmonious. And we're also big enough cynics to realize that capitalism is a complete sham that doesn't work for anybody, right? And that does take a unique combination of skepticism and unabashed hope. So I am also glad to have found you, my friend. I'm glad you're subbed to the channel. I'm glad you're going to be sticking around, I'm not going to make it out like we're instantly friends now, of course, but it is nice to have other people that have interesting ideologies and interesting personal philosophies. It's always cool to have people like that in your chat. It makes the chats way more interesting, makes them way more legible. So we appreciate your custom. You're built like a bowling ball in GL. You type like a retard in GL. You type like somebody who first picked up a phone yesterday. Are you 3? Are you in 3rd grade? I know. I know. You're wrong, you're, and you're. Wrong there, and there. The sort of fucking shit that gets typed in my chat and sent without any proofreading whatsoever will blow your fucking mind. Well, Put, I'll be sticking around for as long as you'll have me. The vibes are great here. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I genuinely try to make sure that the vibes are something that people want to stick around for. And I try to make sure that this is an environment that people feel, like they can engage with and have an interesting time. Like one of my mods, Gemma, she describes this place as being like a sleepover, She says that watching my streams are kind of like a cool, fun hangout or sleepover where everybody's smoking weed and everybody's having a good time. We're telling stories. We're listening to each other's personal philosophies. It's just great, Where else on the internet do you really have the opportunity to have a conversation with a complete random stranger who is actually willing to sit there and discuss your personal philosophy, their personal philosophy, and who's equipped to ask you the interesting questions about it? It's not that common an experience on the internet, and I'm proud to say that we foster that kind of environment here. Reminds me a lot of Discord VCs I've drifted through, and a lot of people in them were high. Well, there might be something behind that. There might be some fire causing all the smoke, is what I'm telling you. Do you have gender dysphoria, or are you just being trendy? Well, if I'm being trendy, I've been trendy for the last 5 years, so if I didn't have gender dysphoria, it would be pretty fucking strange that I've continued to live and see myself, etc., as a woman for the last 5 years. That would be really fucking dumb. I've had gender dysphoria for as long as I've been aware of the concept of gender. For as long as people have been trying to force me into men's clothes, I've had gender dysphoria. For as long as people have been trying to force me into masculine hobbies and masculine matters of dress and masculine behaviors and all of the other happy horse shit that comes with being assigned male at birth and none of your parents and none of your family having like a nuanced view of gender, right? All the things that come along with that, yeah. Well, you're not, so seek help. Fuck you. Dumb cunt. What the fuck makes you qualified to tell me to seek help? I'm about to tell you to seek help out the fuck up out of this chat. And I'm gonna help you right the fuck up out of it. Who elected you the grand poobah of fucking shit, bro? You ain't King Turd of Shit Mountain around here. That's me. On this chat, I'm King Turd of Shit Mountain. You are a pissant. And you'll respect me or you'll be banned the fuck up out of the chat, and that's just how it works. Sorry, bud. You don't get to tell me what I do and don't fucking feel. You're retarded if you think that you get to tell me that. Oh, god damn it. This fucking thing I have to set my phone on is so prone to shaking. I hate it. I hate it. Whoa, sis, easy on the R word. I love that. Your comment is not, your comment isn't vitriol and anger towards the person who just, declared by fiat that they don't think I'm trans. No, your anger is at the trans woman who called out that bigot. Don't you love that? Don't you fucking love that? As an autistic person who had the word retard levied at me ever since it came out that I had an IEP, I think I'm going to keep on saying it. Feels pretty empowering. I'm a black man trying to let you know that this is their game to get you off your square. Well, they haven't succeeded. Me calling them a retard is not getting me off my square. My square includes my ability to say the word retard. I don't throw it around willy-nilly. I don't say somebody's retarded because they make a simple mistake. You know what I mean? But here's the fucking thing. The only people I ever end up calling retarded are people that are being bigoted or vitriolic. And you know what? Actual retarded people are never bigoted or vitriolic. Ever. Number one, retarded is not a diagnostic term anymore. It's just not. It's not something people... you're never going to go into your doctor and leave with a diagnosis of retarded, right? The illnesses that used to be represented by the overall term of mental retardation are now represented by much more specific and much less vague terms, and retard has gone into a new state of being. It's a transient word that has taken on a new meaning in the modern day than it had 60 years ago. 60 years ago, calling somebody a retard meant a lot more, in my opinion. I guess, like, I'll give you an example of a word I wouldn't use now just to shit on stupid rednecks or whatever. Or, well, actually, that's being mean to rednecks, because you know what? Most rednecks aren't bigoted. No, it's just bigots that I'm really going after, if we're being completely honest. And when I'm going after, bigoted morons, I'm not. There are certain words that I won't use to describe them because I don't think that that would be right. Like Downsy. I'm never going to call someone, like, Downsy or something, or Down syndrome. I'm never going to make, like, a comparison to that, because that was, like, a specific diagnosis that the stereotypes for don't even align with the insult that's attempting to be crafted. Autistic. I don't go around calling people, even though I'm autistic, I don't really go around calling people autistic just because they're being stupid in the chat or whatever. Because that's a specific diagnostic term that still has meaning within the medical community. Now, that said, if I think if I think that the behavior I'm noticing does stem from a possible autism diagnosis, I might say something like, are you sure you're not being a little autistic about this? Because listen, I'm an autist and I have some of these same thought processes. I'm just saying. Yeah, but to me, there's a big difference. You might not agree, but the way I see it. Oh. No, it certainly isn't a DSM-5 term, but it's still considered harmful. I mean, yeah, but you know what else is considered harmful? Telling random trans women on the internet that they're not trans because fucking they say so or whatever. Because some random person on the internet says so. You know what I mean? In my mind, I have not committed a greater offense than the person who just fucking came in here saying some stupid bullshit. So I'm going to keep on being a dickhead to that person. I hope it's harmful to them. I hope my use of that word makes them reconsider their actions. I hope it makes other people listening reconsider theirs. I think we need to start shaming people who say and do really stupid shit again. And I think as long as the term you're using to degrade those people isn't a medical term, I think you're probably fine, in my opinion. Once again, if you don't feel comfortable using the word, that's totally up to you. I'm not defending its use as some kind of like objectively reasonable thing in every situation that people should we need to bring it back. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that I have a personal philosophy that does not preclude me from saying the word retarded if I feel like it's warranted and necessary, right? It's a kind of willful ignorance that requires hate first. At least that's the only people who I'm comfortable calling retarded. Yeah, that's exactly what I mean, Divinity. That's a really good way to put it. The willfully ignorant and malicious people, I am totally fine calling them retarded because they are acting like morons. And there are just certain words that are more impactful than stupid or idiot or moron. And one of them is retarded. I'm sorry. Having had it levied at me a bunch, I can tell you, retarded cuts a lot deeper than dumbass. Are you an innie or an outie? Like belly buttons? Who the fuck asks that? Well, who the fuck? Innie, though. Man, my vape is about to die. Come on, y'all. I need this stream to fucking pop off. I'll tell you that much. I need this stream to pop off right now because I tell you what, I am literally like 112 watch hours away from making monetization. So if I can manage to keep the 57 of you that are in here right now, if I can manage to keep you guys for like 2 hours, I'm fucking golden. 79 people. By the way, make sure that as you're coming into this live stream, you hit that like button because that'll ensure that even more people see it in their algorithm. And the more the merrier because this is a chat-based stream. I read your chats, so please consider writing them legibly so that I can read them simply. If you want to have an actual dialogue, I'm one of the few YouTubers who gives you the option to do that here. But what I ask from you is that you give me interesting comments that are easy to read. Hi, I have a question. Do you like Chappelle Rowan? I don't even know who that is. I will send you a $100 as you go outside and broke it. Huh? What? You're going to have to type that again. See, this is what I mean by typing legibly in my chat. I read these comments. I respond to the chat. So if you're not typing legibly, I can't help you. Because I'm not going to know what the fuck you're trying to talk. Do you support people who eat dishwashers or not? What the fuck do you mean? Like what? Like the appliance? I guess they're fine. I've never met one, but I guess I'd chill with them. Does pineapple belong on pizza? Certain pizzas, for sure. Pineapple complements pepperoni really well. Pineapple complements ham really well. The Hawaiian pizza may not be Hawaiian, but it is pizza and it is pretty delicious. Why do you have a lighter in your hand? I don't know. Why don't you wait a few minutes and you might figure that out? Did you cut your own hair? How could you tell? Yes, I cut my own hair. But to be fair, it looks worse right now than it normally does, because normally I'll comb it through a little bit. I mean, the back of my hair is all completely brushed out, but like my bangs, I forgot to comb them this morning. Do you have a job? Do you contribute to society? Yes, and yeah, but I don't consider my job the contribution that I make to society. And the fact that you look at employment under the current system as the only meaningful contribution to society, your attitude is why we're in the fucked up situation that we're in now. Your attitude is why America is experiencing brain drain. Because you people do not fucking give a single shit about the nature of that job somebody's working. You just want to make sure that every person you meet is doing what you did, right? Right? You want to make sure that there's two kinds of people that harangue people about their jobs, right? And I say this as a person who's got a really good job. I say this as a person who works at a really big company, and I've got a pretty good job. With that in mind, there are two kinds of people who will make this fucking argument and who will come in your chat haranguing you about your employment status. Number one are other working people who are so fucking bitter by their own life circumstances and who have been failed so tragically by their parents and their peers that they have no creative outlets, they have no creative interests, they have no hobbies. All they do, the only thing they think about and the only value that they can append to their life is what they do for work. What they do to make some other person money. And they look at anyone else in the world that they think might not be doing that, might not be making a rich person more rich, and they think that that person is a failure because they're not making a rich person even richer. So they must be a failure, right? Or you get the second kind, which are owners and bosses. Owner types and boss types that look at every single person that they perceive as unemployed as a potential a potential path to more exploitation. They look at like an unemployed person or someone they think is unemployed or whatever the case may be, and they think, there's a person that's not allowing themselves to be exploited by my fucking awful system. There's a person that I am never going to get the chance to control. And they resent that because people in that position want to see the entire world under their control. They want to see every single person on this planet put in a position where they can be ruled over and oppressed. Those are the two kinds of people. But with that being said, yeah, not only do I have a job, there's a good chance I make more than you. Shove that in your pipe and smoke it. What do I make? I actually don't. I'm actually the opposite of a maker. I break things down. I don't want to talk about it too much because it's never a good idea to talk about your like deep personal life shit in front of a live stream. But suffice it to say that I work in a factory setting, an industrial setting, in a position where I do a lot of like work with hand tools and stuff like that. Oh my God, we are going to have to clear this up. There we go. That should fix the chat. Now you guys just get to listen to me rant with no participation in the chat. That's what you get. That's what you get for being a bunch of dumb cunts that can't type out legibly. That's what you get for being a bunch of idiots that can't type a single sentence in my chat that's readable, that can't type a single sentence in my chat that's not coming at me sideways, shit talking bullshit. So there you go. Like a little toddler, you've now been put in timeout collectively. Like a class full of preschoolers, you have now put yourself in detention. How does it feel? Discord slow mode. Yeah, I mean, it has to happen, Perseus. I mean, you've been here enough times to know. Like, it just gets to a certain point, and I just get sick of, like, literally, I just get sick and tired of people finding new and unique ways to type out the word loser and shit. It's just like, it's like, bro, number one, even when I had 100 subs, I had and I still have, always have, but I've got a towering ego. I've got a massive fucking ego, but an unquestionable one, an indomitable one. You can say whatever the fuck you like to me, and it will never, ever, ever make it past the front gate. I'm the wrong one. And a lot of times when people say that it's in the context of violence, I just mean I'm the wrong one because I'm not going to respond because I have the ability to pick my battles. I also have the ability. In fact, saying I have the ability makes it sound like sometimes it doesn't happen. No, I have a trait about me whereby it is impossible for me to take seriously the stupid opinions of small-minded people. They don't register in my brain. It doesn't occur to me to take them seriously, if you will. So you're barking up the wrong tree with me. There is one specific way that you implant an idea in my head. And most of you are too stupid to engage in it, frankly. Some of you guys aren't. Like Perseus could do it. I've seen them enough times in chat to know Perseus could do it. Divinity could do it. I've seen them enough times in chat to know they could do it. But you know what? Most of you guys wouldn't be able to do it. You know what that thing is? Socratic dialogue. Raise your hand in chat if you even know what the fuck that is without Googling it. Who here knows what Socratic dialogue is? There we go. Daniel knows. Divinity knows. Does Perseus know? Because I gave her a lot of it, and I said that Perseus probably knew what Socratic dialogue is. I want to know. Hi. Hello. Cool sis. Okay. Yeah. So there are a number of intelligent people in chat who have responded positively to me asking, raise your hand in chat if you know what Socratic dialogue is. But here's a real exercise. Don't be afraid to type it, by the way. I know a lot of you guys are subbed. Some of you guys probably aren't. A lot of you guys are subbed now and are waiting for that timer to cool down. But I invite those of you who can type right now, please type a thumbs down or a frowny face if you don't know what Socratic dialogue is. I'm not going to make fun of you for this one. This is not one of those times I'm going to make fun of you. I'm not doing this to roast you guys. I am doing this to prove a point. Put a thumbs down or a frowny face in the chat if you don't know what Socratic dialogue is. See, so far all I'm getting are just stupid comments. Had to look it up. There you go. That's not stupid. Finally, someone being honest and outright. Nobody's going to admit it. That's kind of what I think, Daniel. That's kind of another point I'm making. So there's two points I'm trying to make with this. I asked who knew what Socratic dialogue was. We got 3 answers in the chat from people who I pretty much trust that they do, because Daniel's participation in the chat so far, from what I can tell, has been pretty fucking reasonable and intelligent. He said, "What kind of stuff do you smoke?" earlier. Sorry, I didn't get to that question. This is literally just like THCA that you can get from gas stations down where I live. So this stuff is actually really potent, though. This particular brand and this particular line is actually like, it hits pretty hard. So that's cool. Are you a crack baby? Far from it. Far from it, my friend. I'm an alcohol baby. Anyway, so we got another person admitting it. Liam was real quick on the sub. Oh, dude, I have a theory that Liam's been subbed for a while. Some of these people started chatting. I mean, Liam started chatting like immediately after. If I'm not mistaken, let me see here. Yeah, Liam started chatting like, yeah, I don't know, dude. Maybe he just subscribed to chat in here, but it seems to me more like the situation where Liam's been subscribed for a while. But an interesting fucking thing about subscribers only mode is that it instantly tells you which of your haters have been subbed to you for a while now. But my sub growth is huge because people sub to me that like listening to my content and having a conversation with me, like Divinity or Gemma or Merrick or fucking etc. Listing off every one of my subscribers I have positive interactions with is going to take me fucking all night. But, I would say that's only like 40% of the people that are subbed to me. The other 60% are people that hate my ass or are repelled by me in some way. But as they are repelled, they are also attracted. They just can't help but be swayed by my charm. Number one, I'm not a him, and you didn't get nobody to say nothing, Liam. You didn't get nobody to say nothing. Your name came up in conversation as a reference to dumbasses. So you have not been ennobled, my friend. You've been pistol whipped verbally. Get it right. Figure it out, dude. I cannot sit here and teach you how to socialize like a human being. You know, I mean, I probably could, if we're being honest with you. Like, you know, give us enough hours, I could probably teach a fucking monkey how to socialize like a human being. But I'm afraid you might be lower than the intelligence level of a fucking bonobo, dude. Of a bonobo. Like, you are probably sitting right down there with lemurs. And I could never teach a lemur anything but sit. So let's try that one. Sit, boy. Sit, boy. Can somebody tell me if Liam sat down? If he did, I'll get him a treat. Does he need a treat? Does Liam need a treat? Did he sit down? Or did he stay standing up like a dumb fuck? Man, Liam, you are relishing in this because you're an attention-seeking little bitch that hasn't had a positive word said about them since the 3rd grade. But I gotta tell you, you are getting roasted like a marshmallow right now. And you don't even seem to fucking know it. Like, you're so fucking you so completely lack self-awareness that you don't even seem to recognize the treachery that's afoot. And you're way too stupid to engage with it in any way. A tragedy, really. A tragedy in parts. Oh my god, that was a good one. Some of these motherfuckers are willing to subscribe and wait for 5 minutes just to hate. That's crazy work. Yeah. By the way, Perseus, I've been meaning to do this for a minute, but you know, I don't remember, but I feel like you at one time volunteered to help moderate the channel, and I was like, you know, stick around for a while and eventually you'll get it. But at this point, you make interesting comments. I can always read your comments on the first go, and they make sense. Very rarely do you fuck up, and when you do, you provide a correction that clarifies. So, you are now a moderator, Perseus. Welcome to the mod team for my channel. Here's what this means in basic set of terms, right? I don't expect any obligation out of you for this because I can't afford to pay you. You know, like, just, I've got too big a mod team. I can't afford to pay you a living wage to actually sit through and sift through all my content and be about it like 900% and all the time. Like, that's not what I'm asking for at all. At all. This does functionally 2 things. Number one, it gives you the ability to clean up the chat if you want to, right? If you, like a lot of people here, if you enjoy the conversations that we have and you enjoy the little, like the little exchanges and arguments that happen here, if you enjoy the vibes, then you can now help me maintain that vibe. You can now help cull the herd of undesirable representatives of the human race, right? By that, I don't actually mean getting rid of them in any functional way other than just banning them out of the chat. Removing their voice so that they may no longer stain the discourse with their stupidity. And number 2, what the mod ship does is it makes it so that I will always see your comments. If you come in here randomly and start commenting, I will notice you amongst the rabble. And it will prevent other mods from accidentally banning you if something you say is misinterpreted. So there you go. That's my speech. That's my post-moderation speech that I give to everybody. Obviously I alter it a little bit for every person that I give it to, but yeah. Have fun with it. Oh my God, Esteban, can you shut the fuck up about God? You realize, Esteban, you're the fucking reason that I turned on all this bullshit, all this subscribers mode bullshit, dude, and you are still in here proselytizing. Motherfucker waited 5 fucking minutes, all to tell me to love Jesus, bro. 5 fucking minutes. Can you imagine, dude? Can you imagine? See, for me, yeah, I'm streaming, and then I'm doing it for a lot longer than 5 minutes. I'm also like 112 hours away from monetization. So this is just shy of a side gig for me. What is it for these fucking dorks in chat? It's just a time sink. Like a pointless time sink, unless YouTube's botting a lot harder than I think it is, and they're actually paying like Indian call centers full of people to just go on their website surreptitiously. But I really don't think that's happening, because some of these motherfuckers, their English is too clearly recognizable as fucking American bullshit English. American fucking didn't graduate past 6th grade, fucking can't hardly speak the language that they're born into, fucking language. Like, it's bullshit, dude. So I know it can't be that, you know? Too many fucking hillbillies for that to be the case. What did Divinity say? Because Divinity's actually smart. How much sawdust do you think you could sneak into someone's Rice Krispie until they notice? You realize there are actually acceptable limits on this kind of thing, right? The Federal Department of Agriculture actually specifically sets limits of contaminants, right? Because the poison is in the dose, and the like companies have basically lobbied, and the FDA has kind of accepted that they've this idea that you can't have a completely perfect process in food. There's gonna be some roaches in every bag of cereal. Not every bag literally, but there's gonna be some contamination along the way. And the FDA has basically accepted this and decided, well, the poison makes the dose, so let's just figure out, like, what is the maximal allowed amount of this before it has to be listed as an ingredient, or before it becomes like a problem of toxicity. So there is a specific amount of rat turds that can be in a hot dog. There's like a specific number of roaches that can be found in a case of soda. There is an acceptable, quote unquote, like number of spiders that can be found in the container or in the finished product. I know you guys think I sound like a fucking insane person right now, but literally look this shit up. I'm not lying. At least as far as I know. Last I checked, this was still the case. And that's kind of fucking wild if you think about it. Because there certainly are fucking processes by which, like, you can have a perfect process. You can. The fucking food industry is just, I don't know, it's maggoty with the worst kind of greed you can imagine. And so they're just, endless fucking, like, there are endless fast food restaurants paying for a small number of billionaires to have a really fucking luxurious life. And in order for them to have that, they have to fucking cut as many corners as possible. And a big fucking part of that, this is not just fast food, obviously it's food production in general. Commercialized food production is maggoty with this shit. This type of greed that makes people fucking underpay all their employees. That makes people not maintain a clean place of work. That make people complacent and fucking bored and disinterested and that type of shit. Yeah, you can't help but have some roaches end up in every batch of chocolate if those are the conditions that you're operating under. But I bet if those companies invested a lot more into their own fucking factories, into their own processes, into hiring good people and getting them in positions of power to make change, or hire or promoting the right people from within the company, right? I think with a set of changes like this, the food industry could, in theory, move to a standard where, yeah, you can't have no fucking, ain't no goddamn roach supposed to be in the fucking coffee. Ain't no goddamn roach supposed to be in uh, the fucking flour. Or, not the flour, but the chocolate is the fucking thing I was trying to think of. God damn it. I'm turning into my grandmother. You realize that? I am literally turning into my grandma. She used to do the same shit, dude. Like, my grandma would literally be trying to tell a story, and she would go through 7 fucking names sometimes before she finally landed on the right one. Uh, and it was just so strange. I could tell by the name, like the names that she would pick, depending on who she would be having this problem with. I could always tell who. It was a personality thing, right? It was like these people all remind her of each other, if that makes sense. And so she would go through a bunch of different names, and she would sometimes do the same thing with a word. Adorable, right? But I'm getting that same problem slowly but surely. Oh my god. Oh, by the way, Perseus, you can just hide people. Like, you don't even have to worry about like, don't hide every fucking. Here's another fucking thing I usually say to my mods, and Merrick knows this. Merrick's got a really good sense about it. You don't have to ban every troll. Here are the trolls that I want banned: gay, fat, stop smoking. That shit goes away. Single word comments go away. You know, like, and smoking comments, unless they're interesting, go away. But if a troll wants to call me gay in a way that we haven't heard before, let him stay. Because if the other trolls are getting banned, I'll catch that one, and it might make me laugh. You never know. And honestly, I can't tell you the amount of bigots that I've turned from bigots into normal people by allowing myself to laugh at a bigoted joke, or a joke that's borderline, that's still kind of funny just because I've never heard it before, right? There have been like 4 or 5 people in my life that is what initiated the process for them of being like, oh, well, I guess I can still be edgy and be other things too. And it's like, well, fucking duh. But you got to show people that. High tier trolling is acceptable around these parts. You have to put in effort. Exactly. We love high tier trolling around here. Is our favorite thing, dude. All we ask is that you be interesting. That's literally it. Interesting and legible, honestly. If we're being honest, Merrick, that's the 2 requirements. Interesting and legible. If me and my mods all read your comment and we can't make heads or tails of it, then your fucking ass is banned because you're too stupid to hang out in the chat. You know, like, and I'm sorry, you know, like, that sucks for you. It really does. But it ain't my goddamn problem. Well, it is, as long as you're allowed to hang out in my chat. And you know what? Like, I already have one person I have to teach to read. I really don't think I'm gonna fucking sit here unpaid teaching you dumb fucks how to read. So if you can't type correctly at all, if you make 0 sense, you get banned. Because there ain't nobody in this entire chat room that wants to sit and fucking sort through your stupid, retarded bullshit that you are too unintelligent to write correctly. Nobody wants to. So if you do it, you're banned. Now, that's all we ask. Be interesting, be legible, you can stay. Be a dumb fuck, single word comments, just tell me to stop smoking like I'm not a fucking, like I'm not about to be 27 this year. Like, I haven't been buying cigarettes for, like, remember, I turned 18 before you had to be 21 to buy cigarettes. So I've been buying fucking cigarettes for myself and others for not just cigarettes, vapes, for 10 years, bro. Almost 10 years. Like, 8 years at this point, about to be 9 years. So can you all shut the fuck up about it? You think listen to how, I'm sorry, this is going to sound egotistical as fuck, but listen to how I talk, the words that I choose to use, the ways in which I use them, and you'll be able to figure out pretty fucking quickly that I've got pretty good reading comprehension. That I passed some motherfucking English classes in my day. So don't come at me like I'm too stupid to read the warning on a fucking vape box. That shit is retarded. I hate it almost more than any other kind of trolling, because it assumes a level of stupidity that I am just not capable of even imagining, bro. Are you? I just want to ask these people, are you so stupid that you just listen to what other people tell you to do in regards to how you should live your life, what hobbies you should hold, and what interests you? Is that what you do? Is that what you're trying to impose it on me? Because I've got a wildly different way of going about life. Well, I'll be 27 this year. I'm not yet. We might need to have a list of banned words at some point. I'm honestly sick of every other person coming in with Jesus loves, but then we'll be super judgmental. It's beyond frustrating. I actually do have a little bit of a banned words list, and I can add that to it. So that's actually a really good idea, Merrick. I'm sick and tired of it too. Honestly, I'm 100% fucking done with it. I am sick to death of listening to fucking dumbass Christians tell me about how much Jesus loves me in a world where you can kind of just look around and tell that if Jesus had any control over this, he would be doing something about it. You know, so it's like that shit can just go away forever as far as I'm concerned. As far as I'm concerned, if you want to talk fucking Bible in here, you better come with a verse and a specific question about it. And you better preface it with such. You better fucking, your first message in chat, if you want to talk, if you want to fucking talk church, you better start that fucking conversation with, hey, I'd like to ask you some, hey, I'm a Christian and I would like to ask you some questions about your stance on Christianity, or talk about a specific verse or whatever, right? Preface it, and then I will give you the opportunity to have that conversation. But you are not going to sit here and keep giving me the same shit that I've been hearing since I was a little kid going to church, dude. I've been hearing that shit since I was a baby. If it was going to fucking, if it was going to take, it should have taken back then. But instead it gave me fucking nightmares and panic attacks. So I would appreciate it if you take a different motherfucking tact. Frankly. Can't be just Jesus, though, because then we can't talk about Jesus, and that last bit of Jesus discourse was really chill. Oh, well, yeah, 100%. That's the thing. I'm going to have to figure out... I'm going to have to look at the banned words list, because I don't remember how it's formatted. If it's formatted with commas, then I can just write the fucking... I can literally just write the phrase, Jesus loves you, and then that will be banned. And I can throw in some other... There's honestly, like, a couple of new, like, acronyms and fucking bullshitteries that have evolved since the last time I updated that block words list. So I should probably do that pretty soon. No, I love Jesus. I just don't like his followers very much. Don't get me wrong. I love Jesus. I just fucking despise his followers, because you know what Jesus called for us to do? Jesus Christ called for us to feed the hungry. Who amongst you is feeding the hungry? Be honest with me. Be for real with me right now. Jesus Christ called upon us to clothe the naked. Who among you is clothing the naked? Be real with me right now. Jesus Christ called on us to house the homeless. And the homelessness problem in America is only getting worse. Who amongst you is housing the homeless? My problem is not with Jesus Christ. My problem is with people who claim to be his followers, but then go around doing the opposite of what the figure of Jesus claims to have wanted. And yeah, I realize I mean, I'm of the opinion, Taiwan, personally, that Jesus is probably an allegory. Jesus is probably kind of a fictional character, but take heart. He's based on 7 or 8. We actually talked about this last night. He's based on a few different guys whose scriptures are pretty fucking similar. And his divinity, probably not real. God is like the Christian God is just like cannot be real, not literally. I mean, the one, Alan Moore once said, the one place that gods inarguably exist is in the human mind. So God will always exist in what me and my friend Frey call the right slope. Pawned that terminology from them because I thought it was really good. And what Alan Moore called the plane of ideas, I think, or the world, the idea world, maybe. And God will always exist there. And maybe there are ways you can interface with him in that way, right? And his revelations might be very relevant to you in that case. But whether you're a Christian who's got that more esoteric kind of new agey view of God and Christ and all that, or whether you're more like the people that I grew up around, like Pentecostals and that kind of that sort, right? Whichever one you are, you can take heart in that the message of Jesus remains a good one, even as an atheist, like functionally an atheist. I recognize that Jesus Christ is one of the fucking coolest characters that there ever was, right? I mean, he's one of the coolest figures in mythology that there is. One of the most consistently respectable and understandable human beings, right? In terms of like his morality being so universal, right? Well, but the problem with it is, right, is that his morality is universal to people that haven't been inoculated against it, despite their claimed belief in him, despite their genuinely held belief in him, due to, manipulation at the hands of a preacher, basically. This is a really complex topic, to be honest with you. And I think people oversimplify it a hell of a lot. Oh my gosh, this is actually really interesting, and also basically what I believe a god is. Do you know any books on that stuff? As an eclectic pagan, I'd love to study up more on that idea. Yeah, go look up Alan Moore. I have not personally read his stuff, but I do believe that he has a book where he talks about this. And that quote is from a comic that he was writing for DC, I believe. So if you look up the quote, the one place that gods inarguably exist is in the human mind. If you look up that quote, you can find what comic it was from. I don't remember off the top of my head. But, yeah, so some other books that you could read. Let me think here. You know what? I'm not the person to ask for this recommendation, to be honest with you, because I don't think I have actually read any books on this specific fucking topic. I've heard a lot of people talk about it in interviews and podcasts and that kind of thing, but I've not actually read about it. I will just admit that. I know a few authors about it because of my general interest in the idea, but sorry, that train sound is just kind of mesmerizing sometimes. Anyway, what were we talking about? Personally, I think it would be cool if more people admired Solomon. Solomon, didn't he have like a shit ton of wives? Had a cool ass temple? Yeah, Solomon was cool. I was wondering how people can send you messages on this, but you also have Jesus in your life, but you also talk about atheism and devilish things. Okay, so I'll explain it to you, Colton. So, I am an atheist in the sense that I do not believe that the Christian God, as described in the Bible, is an accurate depiction of divinity if indeed it exists. I'm an agnostic atheist, and I lean more towards, like, if we're honest, if we're completely honest, I lean more towards spirituality than atheism. But there, just like there's an Overton window of politics, I believe that there's like call it an Ophelia window for religion. And, the Ophelia window is like, in America, anything that isn't a genuinely held belief in Christianity as it's described in modern editions of the Bible, in churches here in the States, and people just outside of that, everything outside of that is considered atheism. Whether you're um, whether you're actually like a Taoist or a Buddhist or whatever the fuck you might be, uh, actually atheist, completely agnostic to the fucking question, whatever your position is, there are a shit ton of people who exist outside of that window of what's considered acceptable non-atheistic religious belief, which is like Muslims. For some reason, Christians will recognize that they aren't atheists, even though a lot of those Christians are really fucking racist against Arab Muslims, but whatever. Um, that sort of limiting factor, though, means that people all the way outside here, from all different fucking viewpoints, are considered atheists. Even though, if you look at the spectrum of religion, if you've got spirituality right here, you've got atheism right here. If you're going to do a serious actual comparison and actually try to line me up somewhere on that weird little religious compass, here's the center. I would say I'm like right here, you know? Like, I think pretty much every modern conception of God as labeled by any monotheist is bullshit. I think that the earth is way too fucking complex to put it all on one fucking entity or one fucking force. I think that that's just like absurd, unless you account for it being a force that does something other than specifically create things. Because if we account for just the sheer number of species, right? You've basically got, you have to reduce God to the Big Bang, or you have to fucking acknowledge that God, well, he made like 1/100th of the animals that exist now, and everything that exists now is the result of microevolution over the years. But we all know that the answer is that a way fucking grander process than even that is behind it all, from what we can tell. And if there is any divinity that underlies this existence, I think that it's probably way more complex and multifaceted than any of the monotheistic religions make it out to be. I would love to ask a couple questions. Let me see here. I would love to ask a couple questions, if you wouldn't mind, as I am an open-minded Republican who loves to see the other side of the debate of what I have. Okay, sure, Shane. Yeah, hit me with it. Debate with a Republican, starting now. Now, I don't know. It can't be a debate because there's no moderator. I mean, there's moderators, but they're biased towards me. That's not exactly a debate. But I will have a discussion with you. I'll have a talk. We'll have a little chat, but a debate. Yeah, well, that's not really possible under the confines of this platform. Basically, God has to be the conceptual idea of creation, or else he can't exist at all. At least that's what I believe. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the way I see it too. I guess that's pretty close to my position. If we're gonna say that there's a monotheistic God, then I can't continue with that premise, because there is no monotheistic God, and like that's just patently not true. But maybe it's calling out to something like the Big Bang, and maybe the divinity that does exist in the world is completely untied to that. Maybe that one ultimate power, the creator destroyer, that is just a lofty poetic description for a natural process, you know? Who knows? Okay, so let's see. Like, when did you start to feel like you was an actual woman? I mean, like, probably after I came out as trans, honestly, not long after. Like, as soon as I admitted to myself that I was trans, that had been confined my entire life to like a wardrobe that I hated and felt uncomfortable in, and a social role that I felt totally alienated by. As soon as I accepted that and admitted all of the things in my life that did point towards me already functionally living like a woman for the last 10 years before that, it was very natural and easy for me to slip into what you see now, like who I've been for the last 5 years. Because this is way closer to what, like, it's sad, honestly, sometimes to talk about it, because I inevitably end up thinking, like, this is what I wanted to be 10 years ago. And, hey, at least I did it 5 years ago, but I knew I was trans 15 years ago. I knew I was trans 20 years ago. Some of my earliest memories as a child are of me doing feminine things and being punished for it. And then doing them again and getting punished for it again. How's your life out in public based on things others say and what your family says? I mean, my family is pretty supportive. So, I mean, my family was not, hip and with it when I was a kid, but, I kind of understand why. Even if they had been educated on, like what it means to be trans and shit, I think that they would have been reasonable in some of what they did. Like, honestly, I don't think there would have been any problem with letting me wear a fucking witch outfit that one Halloween. That's something I still feel bad about. Like, I don't know why, but my mom had this really cute witch costume, and I was a tall kid, but I was in like fourth grade or something, third grade maybe, third or fourth, something like that. And I was already getting a little bit closer to my mom's height, but the costume had shrank over the course of being stored, and it now fit me perfectly. She let me try it on and wear it, and like wear it around for a minute in the house, and then you know my dad saw it and he didn't like it and wasn't about it, and the rest is history, right? Now, since then, my parents have become pretty supportive people. I mean, my dad is not like what you would call like traditionally supportive, I guess. He's still like pretty open about the fact that he says he doesn't believe in trans people, which seems like a really fucking strange thing to say, because it's like, I mean, like, I don't know. Like, I hear people making that point, but I just don't hear them putting it that bluntly. So I guess it just throws me off. But to me, it should like it's just like one of those like obvious fucking things. And I like to think that I would be rolling my eyes just as hard if I wasn't trans at that, because it's like, to me, when somebody says they don't believe in trans people, it sounds the same as somebody saying they don't believe in guns. I just want to say, well, trust me, they are very real. You know what I mean? But he's supportive in that he actually genuinely believes that I should be allowed to live however I want to live and to be addressed how I want to be addressed, and that's not anybody else's business to fucking tell me how I should or shouldn't live. Like, my dad is an actual fucking libertarian. I've actually got quite a bit of respect for him for being like a pretty level-headed libertarian. He's got a lot of shit that he's got moral qualms with or thinks socially is bad, but fundamentally when it comes to like issues of just, managing a person's life on a day-to-day basis, he's like a hardcore free speech, free expression guy, and I really respect that. Because there's a lot of libertarians that wear that around like a costume but don't know anything about what it means. You're lucky, Phoebe. My parents don't know about my transitioning. If they did, they wouldn't support it. I know. You've mentioned that, Perseus, and that's so sad to me, dude. That's sad too, because if I remember correctly, you come from a pretty wealthy family, and I come from like Perseus, if we ever talked on Discord, you would probably be blown away by how poor my family was when I was growing up. I mean, it's a level of poverty that most people think went away in the 70s. Let me put it that way. Reminds me of people who say they don't believe in tipping. Like, it's great you don't believe in it, but it's the reality we live in. That's another really good way of putting it. It's like, great, you don't believe in it, so you're gonna fucking now, I wouldn't say this to somebody that I feel like has a principled position on it, where they're like, yeah, I don't believe in it. Like, I don't think it's, like, I don't see how that could be a real process or whatever, but it's not up to me to decide how other people live their lives, as long as they're not hurting other people. And that's a pretty respectable position to me. But to people who want to regulate the fuck out of trans people, and one of their reasons is like, I just don't believe in it. It's like, motherfucker, it's the reality we live in. So what you're telling me is that you're going to inconvenience a shit ton of people around you, and probably people in your family. You're going to ostracize all kinds of people all over your fucking right to be fucking transphobic. Like, what the fuck are you doing? You really have so little going on in your life. Because think about it. You got to have not shit going on, but the lamest people around if you're willing to go around making takes like that. Because the coolest motherfuckers I know were trans allies. Sorry. Who? Evie Williams. What? I would like to ask a question. I believe that God would want his children to love who they want. Do you feel the same? Yes. I think if the God of love is described in some parts of the Bible was really out there, I think that God would 100% want people to love whoever they want to love. I don't think God would have a negative fucking word to say about gay people. And in fact, some people have made the argument that the calls against homosexuality in Leviticus are actually calls against fucking pedophilia. Which, I don't know if you know this, but that's like an actually fucked up thing. That's like an actually fucked up sexual thing that we actually should, like, punish and shit. So to me, rewriting that, number one, it's fucking suspect because we know the Catholic Church was fucking behind it. But number two, it's just another example of the Bible being manipulated for social control. Just one more in the endless list of examples. I don't believe in black people, basically. Yeah, exactly. It literally is a head scratcher to that level. It just makes you want to go like, what? You, huh? What do you mean I'm right here. What do you mean you don't believe in trans people? I'm right here. I'm fucking right here. What am I, chopped liver? Come on now. I love Perseus. Perseus is like too real for me though. You know what? Like there are lots of people who make the kinds of jokes that Perseus makes, but she makes them with like a big, like, let me just put it this way. For Perseus, they're only half jokes, Do you believe that people can physically change their gender and physical appearance? What you're talking about there is not gender. Gender is in the brain. Sex is what you're talking about. Do I think that people can change their sex? Yes, through sex reassignment surgery, like Perseus said. Trans women can have functional vaginas now. Trans men are not quite as lucky. Honestly, I can't remember the name of the procedure, but the procedure to give a trans man a penis is not. It's a little more wonky than the procedure to give a trans woman a vagina. I don't know why there aren't transplant procedures for these things. Is it like, I have to assume it's got something to do with the hormone profiles not being right? But then that raises the question, why not just do a complete fucking transplant? I don't know. Maybe there's some reason why that wouldn't work. Maybe the signals that, uh, maybe the signals that control testosterone production or whatever would not work to control, uh, you know, estrogen function in ovaries. I don't know what the science is behind why direct, because what I've always thought would be so cool is if two trans people of a similar age who would happen to be donor matches would be able to get a sex reassignment surgery at the same time where they get each other's parts, basically. I know that probably sounds weird, but you would, both people would get, fully functional parts that they don't have to do a bunch of extra shit to keep functional. But I don't know. This is gonna sound fucked up, but I don't, would the wiring match up? I just don't know. I don't know, and it's a creepy thing to think about. I don't know how to feel about bottom surgery though. The idea gives me ick. Me too, Percy. It's that's the thing. But the reason it gives me ick is because I know what maintenance a what is it called? Vaginoplasty, I think. I know what work vaginoplasty is. I have looked into it because at first it was a major transition goal of mine. Now it's I want to wait for the science to get a little better on that. I want to wait for the medical technology to get a little better on that. I want to wait for some fucking robotic surgeons to be installed at my local hospital before I get started on that. So probably just going to be HRT for me, which I'll be able to start soon. Oh, why does getting a surgery make you more of a woman? It doesn't. Unless you're the type of person that equates women to their parts, which I don't. But it can make a trans woman feel more feminine. It can make a trans woman feel more complete and more at home in her body, right? Like I said, if it's something that I thought, like, if the surgeries were a little bit more functional and a little bit less maintenance, and the results were more reliably positive, then I would probably be more comfortable with the idea of getting bottom surgery. It's not because I feel like I absolutely have to have a vagina in order to be valid as a woman. I think that's a gender designator that isn't really tied up in your sex, you know. Um, but it would make me feel more comfortable in my body. I guess that a full organ transplant will be difficult. You'd have to find a compatible donor that you know won't reject the organ, and that you have to somehow match the hormone levels of the donor. Yeah, see, that's kind of what I was thinking. But I bet you it's something that I bet you there's some mad scientist somewhere that's looking into it, dude. There's got to be some mad trans ally probable chaser fucking scientist that's working on that shit. I'd be more inclined to swap brains with a fully cis female body, like a brain transplant. Dude, no, you don't want that shit, dude. Look up brain transplant monkey. You don't want that shit, dude. No. No, 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 no. You need to look into fucking the attempts that have been made to transplant brains in species similar to us have resulted in horrible suffering creatures. And no, you don't want that. Trust me. You don't want that. You think you want that. You don't want that. How do you deal with people that judge you for your mindset and genderality? I think you just mean gender identity, but genderality works, I suppose. I just let it slide off my back like water off a duck, you know? Have you ever seen a duck playing in water? Hey, do you notice how the water just forms little beads on their back, and it takes the dust away with it, but it doesn't coat their feathers. It just, you know? I don't know. For me, it's very easy not to take trolls seriously. For me, it's very easy not to take. People like, honestly, anybody that's here's the thing. Most people in real life are not going to be the person who's going to speak up and say something about you not looking perfectly trans in their mind or whatever. That is not usually the that ain't usually the tact that you'll get from people in real life, right? And a lot of it's dependent on your attitude, honestly. But me, as a pretty friendly, personable person, I generally get along well with people. I haven't had somebody make a transphobic comment openly to my face here since I've moved down to the South again. You know, it just hasn't been a thing. And maybe people are saying shit behind my back, but as far as I can tell, the people who know me tend to like me. And the people who don't know me tend to like me when they get to know me, you know? Like, is there more hatefulness down here than in the average spot in America? Maybe. But at the same time, it's not shoved down your throat the way that you would expect it to be, I guess. At least not for me. Honestly, I find the idea of being cis terrifying for some reason. Maybe it's just because I haven't socially transitioned, but I can't imagine not being a trans woman. I love how many other trans girls I'm attracting to my live streams. That's great. Like, this is solidarity, all. This is mutual aid. No, but for real, it's cool. It's really genuinely awesome to me. Knowing China, I'd put money on them developing it. They already pioneered into CRISPR and cloning research. Yeah, China is ascendant right now. One of my favorite YouTubers, Paul Zigo, has been saying this for about 2 or 3 years now, and it's been true. And I think China is on its way up. And I would not be fucking shocked to see China come out with a surgery like that. Either the brain transplant or the fucking, complete gender, or the complete sex change direct transplant. Like, I could see them being the first to the fucking, first to the post with both, first to the post with both of those. Man, try to say that 5 times fast. First to the post with both of those. First to the post with both of those. First to the post with the First to the post with the both of those. First to the post with the both of those. First to the post with the both of those. See? That's hard. I just made that up on the spot. First to the post. First to the post with the both. See? First to the post with the... What? I don't even remember what I said now. Fuck. Do people make, like, weird jokes with or without you about your identity, and do you go along with it if they're good? I mean, if somebody makes a trans joke that's not, like, super fucking, like, if it's not, like, horribly derogatory, if it's just, like, a joke about my hobbies or whatever like that, like, if it's funny, yeah, I'll go along with it if it's fucking funny, but like, general hatefulness, I generally think that you have to confront directly. But I confront people differently if they're in real life than I do here. In real life, I'd be like, yeah, I'm sorry, but I feel like that was kind of like needlessly mean, you know? Like, I'm a pretty nice person, and I don't intend to be rude to you, even if you don't like me or don't want to respect my identity or whatever the problem is, but do we have to have this kind of conversation at work? You know, something like that, right? That's a way more likely approach for me if somebody says some, like, outright bigoted joke, you know? But if it's, like, not bigoted, and when I say bigoted, there are certain things that are just, like, dog whistles where it's like, if you're making jokes about that, I instantly know that you're a fucking deeply closeted transphobe that is fucking jerking off to trans porn all day and then turning right around and shit talking trans women on Twitter. There are just certain things, dude. If you fucking joke about them, I'm like, okay, yeah, I see what you are now. And in times like that, no, I can't just go along. But if it's something new that I haven't heard before, and it's something that, or it's something that I think that's, actually kind of humorous, and it's not necessarily tied up into some stupid stereotype about trans women that's actively dangerous to our continued existence, then yeah, totally, I'll go along with it, I guess. You're gonna be a rapper? Um, hold on a minute, Colton. Just you wait. All right. Killshot or Forgot About Dre? I don't care who says which one first, but somebody say one of them. Killshot or Forgot About Dre? I mean, Daniel, I'm from rural America too, so it's not like you have to be from the city to understand this shit. I grew up on a farm in fucking Mississippi. If that ain't rural, I don't know what is, well, I grew up between there and Missouri, which is also a pretty fucking rural state in places. I was mostly living in town when I was living in Missouri, but not in a city, in a fucking small town in the middle of the lead belt. So, um, but what do I believe about it as a whole? I believe that trans people have existed forever, and it's a pretty simple idea to understand. Some people are born into the wrong bodies, basically. I was born with a penis, and I wish a lot, like, not every single day do I wish that I could just snap my fingers and magic away my dick, but most of the time, I would trade it in a heartbeat for a chance to change absolutely nothing else about my life other than I was now born as a cis girl. But everything else in my life is somehow still true. If I could do that, I would do it in a heartbeat. As things are, life happens on a linear time frame, and you can't help what your genetic makeup grows on your body, right? And that leaves me with a couple of options, right? And some of them I've already taken, like socially transitioning, like telling people what like a name that I actually like being called and that I feel comfortable being called, and telling people that I don't want to be, he, him no more, that I like she, her, please. Like that sort of thing is one option, right? Another option, to go even farther, if I still don't feel comfortable, would be something what they call bottom surgery, where I could get, what they used to call a sex change. That would be an option for somebody like me. Now, I'm of the opinion that sex change surgery is not yet fully there when it comes to efficacy. It's still a pretty lengthy procedure that's got pretty like a less than zero risk, way less than, or I'm sorry, it's got a more than zero, way more than 0% risk of just giving you like like a completely dysfunctional body part, and the fact that that still happens to people sometimes kind of spooks me out. I want to wait until there have been like 100 sex changes performed in America in a row, and every single one of them has resulted in a completely functional penis or vagina. And at that point, I will consider the process figured out. Until then, I'll take a functional sex organ that I'm kind of weirded out by and that feels a little alien over a sex organ that would feel more like me, but that I couldn't derive any like pleasure from, or that I might not even be able to use properly. Is your brain a woman's brain? I don't want to be it's offensive, I think you meant. I would say yes, and if you look at the studies, the answer there would be yes as well. When trans people's brains are scanned, they more often than not, by a huge margin, they have the brains of the gender that they identify with. In other words, the gender that they live as, not that they were born and assigned, right? So somebody like me would, yes, have a woman's brain. Somebody like a trans man, somebody that was born with a vagina but now lives as a man, right? They would almost certainly have a man's brain up there. And this isn't just like trans people theorizing. It was for a long time, don't get me wrong, but now it's confirmed science. More often than not, trans people have brain scans that way more closely match the sex that they identify with, the gender that they identify with, rather than the gender they were assigned at birth, right? Would that just be affected from lack of testosterone? No, because like the so like take somebody like me. I probably had lower T levels than like the average person, like the average quote unquote male, right? Um, I probably had lower than average T levels uh, way before I came out, like, but clearly it wasn't like catastrophically low because I'm like 6 feet tall and I like even to this day like I have to shave quite a bit, to like stay hair free and shit. Um, Especially because I'm not on HRT right now. I'm hoping to restart soon, but I'm not right now. And so, like my hormonal profile is probably like a little more like leveled out than the average male's is, but I don't think that that's what causes the difference in the brain. I think the difference in the brain is what causes the difference in the hormones. It's a chicken and the egg question, Daniel, is what we're getting at, right? I'm of the opinion that the chicken came first. In this case, the brain. And if you look at the way hormones are triggered and everything like that, that's probably true. Anyway, I asked fucking Colton earlier what song, and he never answered because Colton fucking left. The fucking dickhead. Would that just be? Oh, I already read that. If you're willing to go overseas, the chances get a lot better. Well, I'm willing to go overseas, but, well, I guess in like 10 years, I probably could afford it, honestly. So, like, probably not even 10 years, probably like 2 years. I don't want to, you know what? I don't want to jinx it by talking about it too much. Oh my God, it's getting late. Oh my God, it's getting so late. What's the best thing you've ever bought from a garage sale or a thrift shop? The best thing I've ever bought from a garage sale or a thrift shop? The best thing I've ever gotten from a garage sale or a thrift shop. Best thing I've ever gotten from a garage sale or thrift shop. What's the best thing I personally have ever gotten from a garage sale or thrift shop? That's a hard one. God damn, that's a hard one. Because those are two very different things. I think I'm going to end up giving you both answers, though. But to start off with garage sale, probably a lava lamp, an original lava lamp from the 60s with the original bottle with the wax still working for $3. 3 smackaroons. Because he didn't know if it worked, but he knew the light bulb was burned out and there was no way to test it. I was a bit hairy, but I got laser hair removal. I would love to do that at some point. Hell, the job I'm working now, I could probably save up for it eventually, dude. Oh, man. Come to Thailand? I do want to come to Thailand, dude. I'll go all over Southeast Asia, though. That's the problem. Perseus, do you want to be my tour guide through Pakistan, India? Let's see, Pakistan, India, maybe China if we can get in. Would they let us in? I don't know. Korea, Thailand, Indonesia, Japan. I think that covers it. I think that's all the places I wanted to go. Because we've already covered, we covered Thailand. Vietnam, that's the other place. Now, I probably am not going to be able to hit up all these places at once. But if I could hit like 3 of them at once, that would be cool. Testosterone levels are kind of a non-starter. Every AMAB is born different, and whatever their T level is healthy for them. Yeah. Well, yeah, with caveats. I mean, there are people who have low T that's like, a result of health things that needs to be corrected because it's not actually what they should be producing for whatever reason. I mean, look at fucking Boogie, right? But for me, I'm glad I have comparatively lower T levels. Number one, it doesn't affect me in any of my daily life. I'm still like even though I'm, all cute and girly, like I am massively strong, I can, I'm like one of those Swedish women that they make fun of in cartoons and shit. I can just like lift the corner of a house to dust under it, I'm not quite that good, but I would 100% shock a lot of the people that talk shit if I decided to show off. But it's been way too cold for any of them shenanigans, and it's fucking dark right now anyway, so I couldn't if I wanted to. But the point is, going to be reminded to me when I fucking scroll up. Oh, yeah, the point is, my comparatively lower T levels have never affected that. Like, I still remain a pretty strong fucking person. I still have like a sex drive, not much of one, but enough, and I'm fine with that too. Like, I don't feel some immense like I don't feel some like immense missing weight in my life when I go a week without sex, it's like I don't know, it feels weird to talk about this kind of thing online, but I guess it's pretty normal for someone making this kind of content to do so. Are you still attracted to women? Yeah, I literally, I don't want to talk about it too much, but suffice it to say that I have a wee little, family that's just starting out with, I don't know how to describe her. She's been using she, her pronouns lately, and she has a vagina, but she's also said she's still gender fluid. So I don't want to call her a cis woman because that wouldn't be accurate. I think my partner is honestly just maybe kind of sick of the idea of gender, just like I am, and maybe doesn't exactly know where they fit in, like on that spectrum, which is fine. But yes, I'm still attracted to women, and I'm still attracted to feminine people in general. But I've been openly bi since way before I was openly trans. I was openly bi when I was 14. Not like to every single person I met. It wasn't like I brought it into every conversation, but I didn't hide it either. After I was like, I think I was actually like 15, maybe. Yeah, I was 15, not fucking 14. I'm retarded. 15. So, I was openly bi since I was 15. I didn't come out as trans until I was 21. So, not much changed about my attractions other than I think I'm a little more honest with people now because I'm actually dressing the way I want to dress and behaving the way I want to behave, So would it be appropriate to say that you were in a cis relationship? Technically, you would say, well, I mean, I guess like, I don't really know. The problem is my partner, I think, like I said, is pretty. I think I hate to reuse a word, but they're pretty fucking disgusted by the idea of gender, I think, too. And so, like, they used to identify pretty strongly as a trans man, and they used he, him pronouns. But I don't know, after we started dating, they started to use they, them after a few months. And after our baby was born, they started to prefer, actually, like a month before he was due, she's like, I would prefer it if you use she, her with me. And we've talked about it since, and they're like, yeah, no, I mean, I still feel gender fluid, but I also feel like confident as a woman. And I'm like, okay. But inside, I realize it does sound a little bit like a contradiction. So I think here's what they mean. I think, yeah, I'm probably dating a cis woman, and in that case, I'm not in a straight relationship. I'm in a lesbian relationship because I'm a trans woman dating a cis woman, if that's the case. And my theory is this: I think my partner is probably mostly cis, but the type of, I think she's the type of girl that feels completely unencumbered by the necessities of gender, if that makes sense. I think she's the type that loves to rebel against that kind of thing, and loves to revel in the fact that she doesn't have to live by those lights, doesn't have to be that if she doesn't want to be, even though she's a mother, even though this, that, and the other thing, she can still be who she is and all that, right? My egg moment for me was when I was younger. These girls kept cornering me and putting makeup and eyeliner on me. Oh my god. That is a great egg moment. Perseus, my biggest egg moment was, well, there were two. One of them was way more public, though. One of them, my theater class, I was in a theater class in freshman year, and we were having a lot of fun, and we discovered some dresses in the prop room because my theater teacher, God bless him, I love him, his name was Mr. Cross, and he has a fucking Twitter, or at least he used to. So I think I could say his name out loud. Honestly, I don't think it would matter. Um, but yeah, I had a teacher in high school named Stephen Cross, and he was the best fucking drama teacher you could ever hope for. He really did a really good job at getting kids to get into the spirit of theater that had never interacted with it before. He was fucking so good at that. And now I didn't go on to be a theater kid after his class, although I did take several more drama classes. I never got into it as some other people did. Although I did help out on a few stage productions, I was never cast as anything. I never tried out. I didn't want to be. At that time, I had real stage fright, and I did not want to be a performer in any way. But I did want to have a close-up look at the action and the lines, and it was just such a cool place to be. And so I learned how to do stagehand work. And so, I'd be like pulling the curtains and doing that kind of shit. And that was a really cool place to be. But point is, one of the first things we did on our first week was go into the prop room and explore the different props and dig stuff out and try it on. And me and another kid that I went to that same school with, we, for some reason, thought it would be hilarious if we joked around with a couple of the girls that we were friends with about putting them on. And they were like, you should let us put them on you. And we were like, we gave each other a look that, you know what? I don't know what the look meant, but I'll say this much. I hope she's doing okay. But we gave each other that look, right? And we were like, all right. And so they stuffed my sausage ass into that casing. And somehow I was starting to be a pretty fat kid even back then. So they somehow squeezed me off into that dress, and my my friend whose name fucking escapes me right now, He was way skinnier than I was, so we both went out on stage, did a whole little bit, because Mr. Cross was just kind of like sitting in the like audience section, probably like working on his laptop or something, and we made him laugh, made ourselves laugh. It was a really fun time, and that was a big egg moment for me, because it was like, even though it was like done in light humor and everything, it also, and even though I felt like a fucking sausage in a casing, there was something incredibly freeing about being able to wear something like that in public, openly, and I rode that fucking high for like 2 weeks. I'm assuming it's the moment you realize that you're trans. Well, something like that. I think an egg moment is any moment that that you look back on and reflect on as like, yeah, that's one of the moments. I guess kind of. I don't know how to put it. It's when your egg cracks. Amazing guess. Yeah, it's something like that. It's when your egg starts to crack. In my opinion, most trans people go through multiple egg moments, if they're being honest with themselves. Another time for me was when my friend's dad mistook me for a girl in my cosplay and thought my friend finally got some bitches. He didn't. Well, he had you. I mean, you're bitches, right? I'm not saying you're a bitch. I'm just saying we're bitches, right? We count. But yeah, that is pretty dope. That is really dope. Damn, that motherfucker said I'm gonna be a rapper, and he fucking just left like a little skibbity idiot, and now I can't even demonstrate my rap. Now I can't even do an old fucking 90s hip-hop song because that dork left. God damn it. By the way, we're almost at 19 likes. Go ahead and hit that fucking like so I can get a 20th like before I go, because I gotta go soon. Like really soon. Like super fucking soon. I've become so numb, I can feel you there. Oh, yeah, my Discord is just at Phoebe Ophi. Literally, that's it. In fact, I think my Discord is on my channel. And if it's got an underscore, delete that and it should work, I think. I don't think my name has an underscore in it anymore. I don't think so. Can we get a song before you go? I suppose so. Divinity Incarnate, what do you think of folk punk? Are you familiar with the genre? What do you listen to, my friend? Gandalf the Grey. Yes, that is what they used to call me. I am Gandalf the White. I come to you now at the turning of the tide. Probably a good way to end the night. It was actually pretty chill. It was a nice chill night. fucking love it. Nice. Time for me to cook and get back into Monster Hunter. Okay, so Divinity, have you heard me play Old Pencil Tucky yet? Have you heard me play anything yet, Divinity? I listen to everything Folk Monk is a big one. Nice. Then we're going to be able to find some common ground here. Send your friend request. Let's talk about making that server sometime. Okie dokie. I am at 1,000 fucking subs, and I said when I get to 1,000, I was going to do it. So, you know, if I'm going to do it, now's the time to do it, right? Some Union songs, but I didn't play any folk punk. Then that calls... You ever heard of Mischief Brew? Damn it. I guess I'm just being paranoid. I'm feeling like I'm hearing some low rumbling. Okay. A Mischief Brew song or two, and then I have to go. Sat on the bulb rocks with plum wine, and we watched the fog roll and swallow the bridge on the bay. Thought I could live here, but I'm still in high gear and sweating and freezing 3,000 away. No pencil Tucky, 3 Mile Islands, coal fires rumble, the miners' highway. I'd love just to leave you, but it's good to see you. And on Filthy Town, Hostile City, PA. Where we all come from, most died of the black one. Another browbeater, a boxer, and sane. When he finally got caught, the cops made a few calls. They opened his cell, never fought him again. Old Pencil Tucky, 3 Mile Islands, your coal fires rumble, the miners' highway. I'd love just to leave you, but it's good to see you. And old Filthy Town, Hostile City, PA. And on Filthy Town, Hostile City, PA. Wake me when Steel City's roadwork signs shine in my face. Ooh, now I'm safe. So Tucky, 3 Mile Island, your coal fires rumble, the miners' highway. I'd love just to leave you, but it's good to see you. And old Filthy Town, Hostile City, PA. And old Filthy Town, Hostile City, PA. The low rumbling is actually in my stomach. I'm in your walls. Oh, okay, Perseus. Right on. That does explain it. God damn it. Buck. I'm bucking it up. Well, I used to worship whiskey, now I only drink the Lord. And I take my coffee cream and 7 sugars. Each night we stand on the sidewalk as we talk and we hit bars, swapping one addiction for another. Coffee, God, and cigarettes are all that I need. They're all that I need just to break this routine. Coffee, God, and cigarettes are all that you need. They're all that you need just to be as free as me. But I run into my old friends still drinking from that cup, and I never stay as long as I am tempted. I say, you know, you drink the devil's brew, you know it's just a crutch. No longer must you live your life so tempted. Coffee, God, and cigarettes are all that I need. They're all that I need just to break this routine. Coffee, God, and cigarettes are all that I need. They're all that you need just to be as free as me. I can't actually remember the last verse, but you get the picture. Oh, good night, Merrick. Good night. Coffee, God, and cigarettes? Ah, there you go. Yep, that's exactly what that was. I'll play one more and then I absolutely have to go. Like, literally. When Father bought the farm, we sold the farm, mistook his blood for rustic charm, sold his ghost as an antique to the city. Kids today can't hold a spade. Rest in peace, you weary trade. In this world there is no place. Such a pity. Well, the barman shakes his head and fills my glass. Says we're living in the past. Why preserve a dying past? In misery we sigh and see another modern man. One of property, not land. So I hold out this battered hand. Will you listen? Come sit down and take about yesterday's sad ending. Water and me whiskey. The brass passed off its gold. Another round lamenting about old time memories of a day when wood was wooden. Silver, silver, gold was gold. Sweet home was home. Well, you say you got a wooden stove in the room. Well, you say you got a wooden stove in your second home. Runs on gas, but it looks like gold. Hell, it even puts off smoke and glowing embers. There's a quilt along the wall. Reads home sweet home beneath some wise words from Thoreau. Then you call me a throwback when I cry. Remember, come sit down, we're lamenting about yesterday's sad ending. Drop the water in me whiskey. The brass passed off its gold. Another round, we're descending into old time memories of a day when wooden was wooden. Silver, silver, gold was gold. Sweet home was home. Get these tools, they're artifacts, endangered species left its tracks. So lock me up behind plastic glass in the city. There's no going back for me. This antique's rustic eulogy shall be gold, as folks are the stream. Such a pity. But I'll never understand why they all long to use such hands to build a house that would always stand in old-time country, but settle for white walls and paneled rooms. Thick ceilings. Fuck, I'm forgetting the fucking last verse. The last part of the last verse. But settle for white walls and padded doors. Doors, plastic walls and painted floors. Luxury boxes where you're stored in what was country. I come sit down, we're lamenting about yesterday's sad ending. Drop the water in me whiskey. The brass passed off its gold. Another round, we're descending into old time memory of a day when wooden was wooden. Silver, silver, gold was gold. Sweet home was home. Oh, God. Well, let no one accuse me of just using cowboy chords, okay? Oh, my God. Somebody told me that once, and I've been pissed about it ever since. That one dude who told me that, like, fucking 7 years ago is the reason I'm still playing guitar today, despite his dumb ass. Anyway. I gotta go. I appreciate you guys hanging around and sitting around and listening to my bullshit, and I will see you guys around later. I'm gonna make these a standard 2 hours. I'm not gonna go over that anymore. So just be expecting that. I have to make sure that I attend to all my other things in life. And these are going to be happening earlier, too, around 9 p.m. CST, give or take, in the future. So, yeah. Anyway, I appreciate you guys. I will talk to you guys later. You're amazing. Good night. Oh, thank you.